Welcome to the NBTLT podcast with your guides to this magical journey, Lon and Zumi.
Welcome to another episode of the NBTLT podcast, the only podcast with no genre, no goal, and no limits. I am Lon, and I'm here with my best buddy again, my wonderful Zumi, my man. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well, Lonnie.
How's your week going?
I mean, it's going. It was kind of shitty, actually.
Why was it shitty? It should have been a good week.
No, everybody got sick at home.
Oh, well.
My wife almost died.
Yeah, it happens.
She got have you heard about the dengue virus?
Yeah, dengue.
You have?
Yes.
Oh, you're like the
It
first.
started in Africa.
You're like the first fucking gringo that I know that actually knows about this virus.
Yeah, it started in Africa.
Well, for those that don't know about this virus, I guess like here it's predominant like in South Mexico. That's my wife coughing, by the way.
Well, you can tell her to settle down.
So it's based like it's transmitted through mosquito bites. So
just like everything else.
Yeah. So it's predominant like in south of Mexico, where the mosquito can actually live longer in like warm weather or humid weather. So in Baja, you only see them like during the summer, and this time we had an extended summer, right?
Yeah.
So the like when I took her to the doctor the first time, he's like, yeah, it's just a flu, right? And then she looked like she was dying, like she had like nausea and kind of like a vertigo like effect, and just like a lot of pain, like and they call
her eyes sunken in.
Yeah, and they call it the broken bones disease or sickness or something like that, because your bones
like some voodoo shit.
Your bones hurt a lot from what I've read. And so the following day when I took her to the doctor, she was asking her like all these questions about like her eyes and was there any pain and stuff, and she's like, yeah. She's like, oh, it's the dengue virus. So she's like, yeah, the good thing is that you're on your way out. And
you mean like you're on your way out, like you're dying? Or
no,
you're
like
on your way out of the virus.
Off the virus. So it's like the good news is that, but the bad news is they can only give her ibuprofen and like stuff to boost up her immune system. But other than that, like you're screwed.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty. Did I ever tell you about the time I got sick when I was a little kid? And I think I did. Like I got like 3 different sicknesses all at once.
You told me about the one, and I think you talked about it in the podcast.
Yeah, I might have.
The one where you were like, you and everybody in the bus were like shooting it out of both hands.
No. That was when we were doing the mission trip down to Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico.
But the one time that I was a really little kid, my parents were managing an apartment complex. And all I remember is that I got the flu, but then I got strep throat, and then I got a cold.
Too much dick sucking.
Yeah. Yeah, as a little 6-year-old.
Those Catholic priests, man.
Yeah. But I remember going into the doctor because like it was just weird, like because of all the combination of all the sicknesses. The doctor's like, well, we're going to test, we're going to swab your mouth and everything. And I was just a little guy. I don't remember everything, but I remember him swabbing my mouth and the results coming back that I had streptococcus. I had the flu, and he says most likely a common cold. All at once. And that was the same time, my dad likes telling the story, that was the same time that, I was just so sick. I went to bed, like on a Monday night, and I didn't really actually get out of bed, like wake up until Wednesday morning.
That's a pretty good coma.
24-hour coma?
Yeah.
That's a good coma. But yeah, it was bad. But, dude, being sick sucks so bad. And the more kids you have going to school,
Oh yeah,
the more sickness that you're probably going to get.
dude. Like, and speaking of school, like, I went home on Tuesday afternoon, like after lunch. Like my wife called me, and she doesn't call me unless she like really needs me, right? So she's like, "Yeah, come home." So I leave. I pick up my oldest from school, and then the next day I do the whole thing. We take him to school and pick them up from school. Essentially, you're doing breakfast and lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, my wife is a saint, dude. Like I was 2 days in, I'm ready to tap out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, like my kids are a bunch of little buttholes. And so I was like, yeah, I don't know how you do it like by yourself, to be honest. Like I felt bad, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, it can be difficult, man.
Yeah.
Kids are like the one thing that, like you love them so much, but at the same time, they are like the bane of your existence.
It's like, oh, please, for 5 seconds, shut the fuck.
Yep.
But,
yeah, it's incredible. Like, I just don't get, like, like how they build off each other? Like, if one starts getting loud, the next one will get louder, and then the one following will just get louder than that, and it'll just be this endless cycle of just constant screaming and yelling and pounding and hitting and whining and crying, and it's like, holy shit, do you guys not hear yourself?
Yeah, my kids do not have any sense of like volume control.
Oh no, not at all.
But but they do have selective hearing though.
Oh, of course they do.
Right? They do have like loss of hearing.
Well, yeah, you can't tiptoe down the hallway without waking one of them up. But as soon as you're trying to tell them something, they can't hear a thing.
Yeah. So, and it's so it's Saturday, 16th, Mexico's independence, and I was we were both just watching the fight, right? You were watching the fight?
Pretty much. I saw the very end, and I was actually kind of pissed off with the result.
Mm-hmm. So,
even though I didn't get to see I didn't get to see most of the fight. I got maybe like the last 5 minutes.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, like it looked like GGG was dominating the fight, but
yeah, but like you said,
but yeah, and I told you this before we started. Canelo landed the freaking hard punches though.
Yeah, and I was telling you that it just amazes me. Like he's not a big guy.
No,
he's thicker than Giggity, but
he's only like an inch or two taller than I am. Canelo is, and he's weighs
not a very big guy,
and he weighs a little less than I do. It's 160
Holy
pounds.
Shit.
Yeah, I think he's 160 pounds.
Well, but he looks like he hits like a miniature Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I know. He looks fucking huge, man.
Well, he got that one uppercut
like right in the neck. Oh, that was beautiful. God. I'm surprised he didn't go down with that one. I was like, damn, that guy has some chin. Like,
well, speaking of boxing, I mean, if you look at the set list that things that I put up there this week, I have a lot of video type stuff, like YouTube type stuff, but one of them that I found interesting was this Rocky Marciano video, and of course it's all in black and white, right? And
yeah,
you would think like you go back in a lot of sports, like you go back in historic fights, or let's say you go back in like football or baseball or anything like that, especially baseball. And you would think that because of the advances that we've had in training, muscle building, like learning how to stretch, all that kind of stuff, you'd think that we have better athletes now, right? Like just say like, if one of our boxers today went up against a boxer from like the 1930s, you would expect that, the champion from now would do better than the champion from then, right?
Yeah.
just because he has the advantage of having all that history, that he can study.
Right.
And then of course all the advances in technology and in exercising and all that. When I look back at Rocky Marciano, like especially this video that I put up, it is amazing to me how intensely powerful that man was. And the thing about Rocky Marciano, it's weird to watch because the guy is not just powerful, he draws you in. Like he does like kind of like the same thing like Mayweather does, where he just kind of studies you for the first couple of rounds. And he wants to see what kind of maneuvers you're going to do, what kind of punches you're going to throw and stuff, combinations and all that. That's what he does. Like he'll sit there and he just waited for the guy to just show him what his strategy is going to be. And then he would just destroy people. But I was watching that video and that was one of those those things like when he hits, like that was what reminded me of it was the Canelo fight just now. I just looked at the highlights and everything. I'm like, dude, this kid is not very big, but holy shit, he hits like a train. It is incredible. I hope that they'd have another fight. I'm sure they will.
No,
they have to have another fight, right?
They have to, yeah. On draws, it's kind of like
it's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
And like Canelo doesn't call it a rematch. He calls it a settlement. Like, let's settle this. So there's no doubt like who wins, right? He doesn't like the word rematch.
Well, did you hear about some of the conspiracy shit that's going on with the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather shit?
No, but I was kind of talking with my wife about this because she was like, I hate when they do that stupid shit about a tie. And I'm like, well, yeah, but I mean, it's, way back in the day, like when boxing, like in its true form, it was just a street fight, right?
Pretty much.
When people decided to see like, okay, who's the toughest guy on the block, the way they would settle the match was like whoever's left standing.
Pretty much.
Right? If you were if we both, it was a double KO and you fell first, then I would win. Yeah. But then, people started dying. They put it into an actual sport and people were not happy with the waivers and all that stuff. Like we weren't taking care of people. Like we're just barbarians because we were letting these people fight, even though we had, coliseums back in the day, did a lot of like worse shit. So eventually it became political. It became a bureaucracy, and they saw that when, fighters started to get essentially bigger, they could make money off of it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe this is linked to what you're saying, but so they're saying like, well, think about it. Like if the Mayweather McGregor fight would have not made the 100 million or whatever plus in sales and ticket sales and all that shit and the purse and, let's say they would only be like, it was only like 15 million and it got like the attention of a shitload of people. Like, do you not think like a draw would be like the most convenient things to have? Cause you get to do it again. You get to double on that revenue. So maybe like one of the things like on this one is like, maybe it's like that, these fighters are so close cause the fight was close. But like I said, but like I said, I was kind of leaning a little bit towards GGG, but I'm like, but no, but it's not about how many punches you threw and total, it's your percentages.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what that's what they're supposed to do. So it's like a draw makes sense because it's one, it's going to bring more money. Yeah. And two, like it was a close fight. So, yeah.
Well, and this is what I was, gonna say. Like with the McGregor Mayweather fight, and I've explained in the last podcast episode that, I feel like something was off about it, right? What I was thinking about was, I mean, despite all the conspiracy theories that are going around about, that being a fixed fight and everything, which I'm not even going to get into because it'll just go down a road of crazy that I don't feel like going on right now. the one thing that I was thinking about was what would have happened, like, if you are honest with yourself and you really look at it, what would have happened if McGregor won? I mean, how does that affect the boxing commission? I mean, if you look at it with the realistic stance, you are going to lose some form of respect if McGregor wins, right?
Yeah.
And because now you've opened the doors for any UFC fighter to say, well, I want to make more money too. I'm going to go fight, so-and-so. It's not, it's not going to be as big as a fight as that was. But, I mean, these guys can make 10 times more than what they're making in the UFC just by losing. And if McGregor wins, it really does a number on their reputation. And I feel like that they wouldn't have allowed that to happen. And that's about as conspiracy theory as I will go with that. I won't go any deeper than how I feel about it. But
Yeah.
I don't think that even if Conor was the better fighter, they would have allowed him to win. Unless it was completely obvious, like a knockout or something.
Right. Which is what you kind of hope for, like, every time you watch a fight, right? Especially, like, those close matches. Is you're looking for that lucky punch, man.
Well, I don't know, because there's been a few fights that I've watched that have gone the distance, and they've just been fantastic fights, And those can be better than a knockout. Because the two fighters they get to the 12th round and they are gassed. And now it's no longer about strategy.
I mean, am I the only one that remembers that it used to be 15?
No, I remember this.
You remember fights that, like, I think, yeah, like,
dude, this is like in the late 80s and early 90s, they still had it going on.
Yeah, like, I all of a sudden, like, I'm like, when, like, I saw, like, match and it's like 12 rounds, like, rounds 12 is like the last round, and I'm like, I thought, like, shouldn't there used to be more? Like, because people would not, there were a lot more TKOs and knockouts because of that, but, because they would just gas out, like, on the 13th round or whatever.
Oh, yeah, guys would just fall over, and I think, I do know that in different districts, they have different rules. Like, there's some places in the United States and in, different parts of the world where they're going to have differences in the rounds. They're going to have differences in the size of the glove. There's small rules that are different. Like when the ref is allowed to stop the fight, all that kind of stuff. If, your trainer is allowed to stop the fight at a certain point.
Right.
Because in most regions, you're not allowed to just throw in the towel in round one. It's like, come on, man. You can't, we got to get some kind of money off of this.
Right.
But, I don't know. I feel like, the purity of fighting has pretty much left boxing, and it's nice to see fighters like Canelo Alvarez, where, he's a good boxer. And it's, who's that Russian kid?
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Like, I know who you're talking about, though. Like, that kid is a fucking beast.
Yeah, he has a much different approach to boxing than we've really ever seen, right? He utilizes things that have always been there, like, moving around and, getting your opponent in the corner and all that stuff. But he takes it to a different level. It's cool to see when, any type of athlete utilizes something that's always been there, but he uses it to his advantage. So it's always fun to see those type of fighters. And I think Canelo's he's one of those guys where he finds those holes and everything, but he's very textbook.
Yeah.
In most things. But I mean, I hope that they have another rematch or settlement, as he likes to say, pretty soon here, because from what I can see, it looked like a good fight.
They're gonna settle. They're gonna settle it. It's like, so there's no doubt. But I will say this: like they show like how many how they have like the body count punches and stuff and where they landed.
Yeah.
Like Canelo landed 84 body shots.
Ouch.
And Triple G only landed like 8 or something like that.
Oh my god.
But so all of his shots were towards the face. So Canelo took like 109 punches on his right side.
Dear Lord.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
How's his eye?
it didn't look. He didn't look any. I mean, a little swollen, but
If that was me, I'd be like a bloody little bitch laying on the canvas.
yeah, I wouldn't have an eye. I'd be like Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Oh,
eye,
yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. So yeah, what else has been going on with you, Zumi?
Well, aside from that, I made the what's the word? I essentially told. I told you, right? And I think I mentioned on the podcast that I got backed into.
Yeah.
My car got fucked up, and so
by a baby back bitch.
yeah. So yeah, the insurance decided that I'm at fault.
Of course.
Yeah. So I call him back and I'm like, explain to me how exactly I'm at fault when like I was ready to move forward and then I felt the hit. And it's like, oh, well, it looks like this got disputed because, there's two conflicting stories. Like you're saying something and our client is saying something and we're going to back up our client.
Well, I understand them backing up their client.
Yeah, but it's like,
But
all right, like this is what pissed me off, They're like, first they're like saying, oh, we can't disclose any information in the statement or whatever. And I'm like, no, so I might have said some fucks and shits and, and got a little heated. And eventually I got it out of the guy that she's saying that both cars were stopped at the time of the accident. I'm like,
how does that make sense?
How okay, like how the fuck does that make any sense to you?
So it
I'm
transported.
Like, did you not see the damage on my car? Like it's on the side. Like, did you not see the angle? Like, is she saying that I magically like ran or hit her and
your car teleported
and I caused that damage on my car? And the guy the guy was corny. He didn't know what the fuck to answer. And essentially he went back to the whole, well, we got to back up our client. Two conflicting hit stories.
Okay. I wonder if there's anything you can do. Like, know that this was not her original statement.
Yes.
Okay. So there has to be a way that you can talk to your insurance and have them call her insurance and demand the original statement, because when you change
I don't think it works that way. I think I gotta do a lawsuit as like a small claims.
Yeah.
So
are you willing to do that?
I mean, it's $1,000. Like if I do it here.
Yeah.
In Mexico, it's probably gonna be like 150. But that's neither here nor there. All I want, like, to be honest, like, it's not even like about the money anymore. It's for her to her to fucking admit that she backed into me.
That's gonna be hard to do. I mean, first of all, it is a woman.
Yeah, I know, but it's just one of those things. Like, why? Like, dude, no, I got out of the car. I'm like, I was nice about it. I even shook her hand. I said, like, well, nice to meet you. Sorry it's under this circumstances and shit. I think she's gonna, like, bend me over and fuck me. Like, at least take me out to dinner first.
She wasn't even getting the lube. She was picking up a bucket of sand at that point.
Exactly. And it's just like, like, I took my car in, like, they sent, and this is what pissed me off. They sent me, like, an approval to go to a shop and everything.
Yeah.
And when my guy submitted like a supplement is what they call it or whatever for extra charges or whatever, it's like, oh, we're still working on the liability on this, and I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean you're still
Yeah,
working on the other lady? Well,
craziness.
why the fuck did you send me that? And I was like, oh, well, we always do, like, cause we never know what's gonna happen. It's like, no, then don't fucking do that. Cause like, I saw that, I took it as, it's settled. The lady told the story how it happened, and now I gotta pay out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you just fucked me over, dude.
Yeah.
Don't fucking do that.
It's fucking craziness. Oh, hang on. I got a kid crying. Be right back.
All right.
And we're back. Oh, so yeah, I mean, I don't understand people. I don't understand why people have to be so fucking vindictive all the time.
Yeah. I don't know.
It is a woman.
Yeah. I gotta go, like, that. There's a legal team within the company that I'm gonna go ask him, like, what do they recommend? But yeah, everybody's telling me, like, yeah, just do a small claims, like, lawsuit. And, you know, she's from another state, so I guess if she doesn't make it, then
you win.
I automatically win, I guess. But I don't know if I go to the Walmart where I got hit, and if I ask them to see if they have video, if they would actually, like, show it to me.
You can. Just, yeah, do you know around what time?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what time and what day, so.
Well, yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could even call them and ask to talk to the manager, and do that before, and just say, you know, I'd like to schedule a meeting with you about some of the footage, just for an accident that I was in, and see if they'll comply. They don't have to.
Yeah.
But, you know, it can't hurt. I mean, wouldn't that be fucking sweet justice?
It would, because essentially that's what the guy told me. It's like, nah, unless there's an independent witness or a video. I'm like, oh shit.
Are you gonna start using a dash cam?
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, because on this one it wouldn't have helped me, right?
Yeah, it would have screwed you because it would have been in the back.
Yeah. So.
Or on the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Fucking people.
Yeah. Fuck that bitch.
You know, I have to tell you this story. I've had it up here for a couple of weeks now, but I just haven't gotten to it. You know, there was this guy that I used to work with at the job that I'm at now. And I was pissed off about something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was because of an interaction I had with another employee. And I was just explaining it to this guy. His name was Jose. He no longer works there anymore.
Oh shit! I mean, it's Mexican, right?
Yes, but
yeah, this is probably not going somewhere good.
Well, anyway, I explained to him why I'm pissed off, right? And then he begins to tell me this little, like, anecdote that has almost nothing to do with the subject,
what
right?
The fuck?
Like, out of nowhere, he tells me this story, and I think I remember it, but basically it goes like this. There was once a frog, and this frog would just hop around inside the water of this little creek, right? And he'd catch flies and stuff like that. And one day, he sees a scorpion on the edge of the creek. And the scorpion asks the frog, "Can I ride on your back and have you take me over to the other side?" And of course the frog says, "Well, I don't know. You're a scorpion. I don't want you to sting me. You know, you kill me." And the scorpion says, "Come on, just help me out. I promise I'm not going to sting you. You know, I just want to get to the other side." So the frog complies and says, okay. So he lets the scorpion on top of his back, and he starts going across the creek. Right before they get to the other side, the scorpion stings the frog right in the back of the head. And before the frog dies, the frog asks him, "Why did you do that? You told me you weren't going to sting me." And the scorpion says, "It's just my nature." And that was the end of the fucking anecdote. And I said, Jose, what the fuck are you talking about? And he goes, you know, just people, man. I'm like, what?
Just people, man.
And to this day, like maybe it's like I was hoping that, let's say it was like some folk tale that you people down there tell each other or something like that. I have no idea if it has any relevance or if it has a different meaning in Spanish, because I still can't figure it out.
You can't figure it out?
I think what he's trying to tell me is that you can't change the nature of people.
No, it's
that's
the same.
The most
exactly. If you're an asshole, you're a fucking asshole. Like the guy the scorpion is essentially the lady, and I'm the frog in the story. Because I trusted in her good nature. I trusted that she looked old and she was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And deep down inside, she's a fucking scorpion. She's a fucking asshole.
So are you telling me that Jose gave me a good story? I just didn't. You
just didn't get it at the time. Maybe you weren't. Yeah. Essentially that's what he's saying.
Well, Jose, if you're out there, thanks, bud. We're a couple years late, but thank you.
It's a brilliant story. Actually, I'm gonna steal it.
And you're just gonna use it on people randomly when they're pissed off about other people?
Yeah, it's just my nature. I mean, the scorpions admit it. I'm just an asshole, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Well, actually, did he say I'm sorry? It's just my nature.
He may have said that. Like I said, this is a while back. He told me this little anecdote a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't remember all the little details, but I remember the gist of it. It was the frog helped the scorpion over.
I can just remember the whole, people, man.
Well, it's interesting because, like, growing up in Southern California, I've been around, the Mexican culture my entire life. I've been at least, the LA versions of, the Mexico community, right? And a lot of it is like authentic type stuff. And I've been to Mexico 1,000 times. And
really, 1,000 times?
Yes, 1,000 times, Zumi. I took 100-hour nap. No, you did not. But I've been to Mexico a lot, and I've been around Mexican culture for most of my life. And I've noticed something like lately, like I'm actually starting to miss like the little things, like all the little decorations and stuff that Mexicans like to put in their houses and stuff. I'm not talking like the Jesus candles and everything, but like all the bright colors and everything and all the food, and there's always food fucking being cooked. There's always food being cooked.
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me, Zumi?
I don't know, dude.
I was sick of it when I left California.
Maybe you're maybe you don't have enough Mexicans up in there in Spokane.
We do have Mexicans, but they're not real Mexicans.
Yeah, I mean,
they all have good credit, and they all own a house. And
I know, they're like, "Where are you from?" Like, Colorado. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
There's actually a lot of people that I work with now that are from LA or from Southern California, or there's one guy. He's one of the paratransit drivers. He's a Mexican guy. And I asked him, just randomly, because I hear him talking to me. And you're like, how you can tell like the tiny little, inflections in their voice and stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Like I think I know where you're from. And I asked him, I'm like, can I ask where you're from originally? He's like, LA. I'm like, okay, that's a pretty broad statement. Like, where in LA? He's like, oh, Palmdale. I go, what? He's like, yeah, Palmdale. I go, dude, I grew up in Lancaster. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, when did you get out of California? He's like, about 2011. I go, dude, it's like almost the exact time that I left. And we started talking. I'm like, so what made you get out of California? He's like, oh, fucking liberals, man.
Like, people give me a lot of shit, dude, but that's my issue with California too. It's like, I think I've told you this. Like, people always give me grief. I'm like, why don't you vote? And I'm like, because it won't make a difference. Like, well, not if you don't.
There, it won't.
It's like, not if you don't vote. It's like, no, dude. I'm in California. Like, you have no fucking, like, the elections don't work like they do in Mexico.
No.
It's like no, like California, it's left, and no matter how many right people vote, even if all the right people decided to vote, you couldn't win.
I honestly believe that they would just rig it. You know, it's so, I mean, Washington is pretty liberal, but the weird thing about Washington is that, all the liberals are pretty much, almost all of them are pretty much on the Seattle side, on the west side of the state.
Right.
And a lot of the conservatives are over here on the east side.
But in Washington, you do see a lot of movement between right and left, right? It's like, it's not like government's not one-sided like it is in California.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd state because there's this huge gap in between like Spokane and Seattle. I mean, it's like a 5.5-hour drive. And this gap that's in between the two large cities in Washington is a lot of like farmland and a lot of let's just say like there's a lot more nature. You know, rural areas. You know, and there's not a huge population in those areas. You know, so like the two largest cities being Seattle and Spokane, they're very different from each other. Did you see by any chance, probably not, but did you see what happened to Seattle's mayor?
No.
He just resigned after his 5th allegation of child sex abuse.
Ah, fuck me.
Yep. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Dude.
That was like the whole Bill Cosby thing. I was one of those people that was like, there's no way Bill Cosby raped anybody. It's Bill Cosby. And then, you know, the farther we go along, like, what is it up to? Like 100 and something women?
Well, you know.
You can probably negate at least 90% of those women and say that those are total bullshit.
He's going to use the 80-20 rule.
Yeah. Use Occam's razor on this one. After that, like after all these like massive amounts of women came out and started, you know, describing the event, it's like some of them, like, yeah, I could make that story up in my sleep. You know, it's like, yeah, that didn't fucking happen. Or, you know, this happened, and like Bill Cosby would have some alibi. He's like, what are you talking about? I was having, you know, like a family get together or something, and I have like 20 people can account for where I was. But then there was some of them that started describing like things that happened on set and stuff. And I'm like, Bill Cosby might have raped some people.
So Lonnie, I'm officially 32 now.
I know that. You are 32 years old, and you're the same age as me for now.
For now, yes.
For now.
So this is what it feels like, huh?
Yeah. What do I have? It's 9/16. I have 11 days.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be 3 days into your birthday before the next podcast. So that should be fun.
It'll be 3 days into my 33rd birthday.
Yeah.
I'm at the Illuminati power number.
I know.
Yeah.
You're half evil.
Did you ever see that? Like that Tom Cruise has separated with every wife that he's ever had once they reach the age of 33?
No.
It's fucking weird. Well, he's one of those.
Well, he's a freaking Scientologist.
Scientologist, yes, and they're like the Illuminati type shit. You know, 33 is the most holy number or something like that.
You want to know something funny?
Yes, I do.
So,
I like funny things.
So all of these, so there's this story floating around, and it's I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. Maybe you told me this, but a lot of the centers that were designed to cure people from that were involved in like some sort of brainwashing, so kind of like this like satanic sects and all that stuff, or was it you? Does it sound familiar?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I heard this story from one of the NLP guys, So when NLP was like blooming, I guess, in the form of therapy,
Yeah.
they had guys that would essentially infiltrate into these like cults, right? And
Great.
they would kidnap people that they have been brainwashed or whatever, and it was the job of like these NLP guys to like kind of intervene and make them look like no, dude, like these guys are gonna make you like drink the wine and kill yourself, type thing.
So you're telling me they're like capturing people that are into Scientology and stuff?
No, hold on. So that was kind of like a popular thing, like to do amongst like when NLP was blooming, like people that had relatives that was like, yeah, my relative or what, my daughter's in a cult or whatever, and she's been brainwashed.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I need you to help me. Well, all these centers that vet that, like there's like kind of some legal issues and stuff, and I guess they violated something. They couldn't do something within like what they were doing, like as far as like getting the guy, putting them in the room, and then doing like hypnosis or whatever, or doing like NLP on them to like get them out of that brainwash and realize. So all these centers started to shut down, right?
Yeah.
And the Scientology community found out about this, and they started buying all these centers.
Oh, God.
So they will still do the same thing, except instead of... So now they would kidnap the person from a specific cult that is going to be kill yourself type thing, and they would indoctrinate him in a Scientology center.
Oh my gosh.
So they would go, they're going from one brainwashing cult to another brainwashing, or
just a richer one.
To a brainwashing religion. So, and because they're considered a religion, they can't be touched, right?
Yeah.
Because they handle all their...
It's so fucked.
Dude, yeah, it's messed up.
There's so many things. I've seen, I always forget her name. The one lady that was the actress as the wife on that Kevin James show, where he's like a UPS driver. Oh my God.
Real Housewives? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I don't know.
Kevin James. She was in Scientology. Let me see. Kevin James. You know who Kevin James is, right?
I know who Kevin James is, but I don't know who you're talking about. Like, I don't know who the woman is.
Okay, I'll get her name here. Let me see. Her name, King of Queens.
Okay, please, Sam.
Okay, and then the actress was, let me see, Leia Remini.
Yeah, she's kind of hot, actually, right?
She was kind of pretty, I guess. You know. I guess.
But I mean, I get right next to Kevin James. I mean, everybody kind of looks hot, right?
I think she's been on Joe Rogan on his podcast before, talking about the whole Scientology thing and how she actually got out of it.
Oh, okay.
And like, you don't see her in anything anymore. But she was talking about like getting out of the whole thing, and like how she's had death threats from some of the clergy. And, you know, saying like she's not allowed to talk about anything. She's not allowed to say this or that. She can't reveal any of the things that they did.
I was like, dude, it's a fucking science fiction novel. Like, everybody can read about it.
Yeah, and it's the weirdest thing, and it just bugs me that people don't, like, they hear Scientology and they think, oh, you know, it's just like a bunch of Mormons or something. It's like, no, dude, seriously. Like, the Scientologists, they have a problem. Like, they're evil, evil people. And I don't know how people differentiate Scientology with the Illuminati.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that's who they are. That's what they do.
Well, since we're on the conspiracy theory subject,
yes.
So my friend sent me this article, and I'll send it to you on your phone. I think it's on the .uk, one of the .uk journal ones. But I guess the CIA is going to be releasing all of the Osama bin Laden files.
Oh shit!
That within the next couple of weeks, right? So from the time that he was like doing all of his training and all that stuff, and I guess they're releasing like emails, letters, and all this shit that where they so that there's no doubt that he was the culprit, or the mastermind behind the attacks of 9/11. But here's the thing. They're releasing all of his files except those that involve any type of national security, right, issues. Like any others, right? Which is understandable if they're still relevant to today.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to release those. And they're not releasing any pornography that they found.
What?
They found hard drives, videos, DVDs, apparently, with a shitload of porn. But they're not saying what kind of porn.
Oh man.
And they're not even releasing what type of porn. They're just releasing, we found pornography. And we're not releasing that.
It's like, why would they even mention it?
I have no fucking clue, dude.
Are they trying to appease the nerds that are like, oh, we know that dude had like tons of porn?
I don't know, but they're making it a federal crime even if if they even like publish or whatever. So
Wow.
So
Yeah, but WikiLeaks will leak that shit anyway.
I know, but so there's gonna be some fucked up shit in there in those files, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. You know, here's the weird thing. Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on in the U.S. right now, right? Especially with the realm of politics and like all these people that are slowly getting into big fucking trouble. Have you seen any of this stuff?
No.
Like, okay, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She was working for the DNC during the Hillary campaign, right?
Right.
And Debbie, had this IT guy working for her. His name was like Imran Awan or something like that. A Pakistani guy.
Terrorist. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, he has just he left the laptop that was in question that had all of this information on it. Mm-hmm. Like whatever this information is, he left it intentionally with a note to the FBI asking for immunity, and he would testify. Well, the FBI and the CIA look like they have granted him immunity, and he's going to be releasing a bunch of information on not only Debbie Wasserman Schultz, but on Hillary, on Bill, on a bunch of people. But here's the thing, I don't think any of that shit's going to come out. Like, it's too good. It's too good to be true.
Dude, it's gonna... Oh, man. Do you remember that one dude? I think you told me, right, that he was going to testify as well, and like the next day,
Seth Rich.
Yeah, and he was like mugged. It was like no
mugged,
wallet,
but he still had his wallet.
No
his
wallet
watch.
Was stolen. No watch was stolen. It's just like no, he was assassinated.
He was suicided.
That was murdered. Fuck, dude. So
it's fucking crazy. How bad do you think it is? Like, if
dude, it's. I don't think it's as bad as like TV shows make it out to look, but there is some of that shit going on.
Do you think that there's some occult shit that goes on in politics?
Yeah, I mean it's like any, like I have a friend, like a close friend that he's in politics, right? And I think I told you, like he was going to be a senator in Baja, and like we need more diversity, so we're going to put a woman. So he was like in office for a week.
Fucking crazy.
But anyways, like the same guy, when the elections was going through, they offer him a bribe essentially. Because they saw like his charisma and stuff. They saw that he had potential. They're like, essentially they told him like, we'll give you X amount of money, switch parties right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like you don't, like, nobody has to know. You just have to say that you're done. Yeah, and that's what he said. Like, I'll know. Like, I'll like, you know, like, don't worry. Like, I'm not gonna say anything to anybody. But I want to go this route. And
God,
I mean, but that's where it ended. I mean, it didn't get any like life threatening stuff or
and that's just down in Mexico.
yeah, but you know, but it happens. It happens.
Oh, yeah, for
I don't
sure.
think it's like that, like methodical and that well planned out where everything like falls in like in a domino effect like it does in a
But
movie.
what if it is?
If it is, then man, we're fucking blind as fuck.
But I mean, how? If you really think about it, how hard would it be for them to keep shit from us anyway?
Apparently, well, it's not that hard, right? Because even the shit that's released, somebody can come out and claim that it's not true, and then you install doubt on a certain amount of people. So when somebody comes and says like, "Oh no, I was there," it's like, "Well, no, I have a close friend that works there, and he told me this." It's like, no, you're lying.
And how the fuck would you even find out the truth? You don't.
Exactly. Even right now, like, this whole thing about the lady hitting me. Even like if this
we go back,
this lady is probably telling her own version of the story, right? To all of her friends and stuff, and obviously they're gonna be biased. And if I come in and say like, no, I backed out, and then she fucking backed into me, they're gonna say like, no, you're lying.
Well, see, here's the thing though. You as my friend, you could be telling me your story, and it's possible that you're not telling me the truth, right?
Yeah, it is.
But
it is possible. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say like, I believe you, but I really don't have any reason not to.
Correct.
But I mean, but on the other hand, like you look at. Christelle and I argue about this we don't argue it, but we discuss this all the time. Like, I don't know how you could be such a bad person. Like, if you look at some of the people in history, like, or if people that you work with, right? People that don't do their job. Like, they're just lazy motherfuckers. They don't do shit. They refuse to do this or that. They end up forcing you to do extra work. Or then you go to politicians like that do this evil shit. Like they make backdoor deals with people that are trying to kill us. They give money to terrorist groups. They sell guns to this person or that person, when they know full well what's going to happen and that it's going to kill innocent people, right? My question is, how do you sleep? Seriously, how do you talk to you, like, say you're a terrible employee. How do you go home every night and tell your wife how your day was?
Well,
are you really that, like...
it's funny that you mentioned this, Lonnie, because I just, like, I was just thinking about this earlier. And when I was growing up, school, if the teacher would leave, right? Like, let's say teacher had to take a shit, and it's gonna be a massive shit. He or she was gonna be gone for at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We used to have, like, the what you call it? Like the one,
pet.
Yeah, the teacher. Well, not the teacher's pet. Like, it was like somebody like that was in charge. Like the president, you had the treasury. And a secretary,
so like
right?
School council,
like
take care of things.
So the school council president would be in charge of the class.
But it's still a student,
right? It's still a student, and he would just say like, "Okay, here's an assignment for the next 30 minutes. I'll be right back." Like, Johnny, if anybody talks or gets up without permission or whatever, or leaves, or does something that they're not supposed to, or does something other than the assignment that I just give, or that has been given, then you write their name, and then you put an X on them, and depending on how many X's you have, that means like how many like intrusions you had or whatever, and
demerits,
yeah. and how many, and that will depend on what the teacher's punishment is going to be at the end of when they came back from taking their shit or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Make sense? So
Makes sense.
So I thought about this, like, all right, usually the one that was selected as the president or whatever was a fucking moron.
Oh, okay.
The douchebag of the class, right? The
Sure.
guy that nobody,
the
guy that nobody liked. Right?
Yeah.
So what happened is, like, you're like doing your assignment and it's like, hey, can I borrow your pencil? Well, that was like, oh, you talked. That's your name's written. That's an X.
Bitch.
You know? Like, I dropped my pencil, I got up. Oh, you got up. That's the name. So it's kind of like one of those things where you get, as a student, right? You're equal to everybody else, to the rest of the herd. And all of a sudden you're touched by, by the teacher and says, you're the one with all the power. Then when you're not, or when you're a fucking douchebag like that, right? Like the one that nobody likes, that you know nobody likes you, and all of a sudden you're in a position of power, what is the first thing that you do is, you start fucking with people. And like the scorpion story, I think it's nature. It's in their nature to do that.
But my problem with all of this is, like, is there any self-reflection ever?
Well, no. I mean, did you grow up in a situation like that at all?
I've grown up in situations where, there's been people around me that are, just wastes of oxygen.
I know.
Or
and
people that have a certain amount of authority and they don't deserve 1 ounce of it. Or, things like that, if that's what you mean. But my problem with these people is that they never take a look inwardly and think, why?
They don't have to.
But, and that's what I mean. It's like, why on earth? I just can't fathom it, I guess is what I'm saying. I just can't fathom being evil for the sake of being evil. Or being an asshole just to be an asshole. Or fucking with people just to gain something out of it. Or, like the thing that happens every day in every business. Using other people as your stairway to success. Or, you know what I mean? Just like fucking with other people so that you gain something.
Right.
How much is money really worth to, like, politicians? That's what I'm asking. Like,
a shitload.
I guess I just can't understand it.
I mean, I can. I can understand it.
I mean, I've done terrible things, not terrible things to people, but I've been really mean or evil or, rude to other people just for the sake of doing it. But at the same time, I'll think about it and I hate myself for it. And I inevitably always end up being that douchebag that apologizes later, because I can't do it. I can't just sit there and think about that. This is why it bothers me when politicians do evil shit just to gain a little extra money.
Well, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's necessarily about the money. I mean, some part of it is the money, but I think most of it is just, like I said, it's that thrill, it's that. It's like the show, dude. They're playing the Game of Thrones, and they want to play it better than everybody else.
And that's all well and good, but, like, I don't know how you live with yourself just being that way.
Like I said, some people, scorpions.
You're gonna fucking use that on me forever.
I guess it's a fucking brilliant story. I'm sorry, bro.
Well, that's fine. You know what movie I was actually thinking about, and it kind of ties into it a little bit, is The Game.
The Game?
When's the last time you saw The Game? With Michael Douglas.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Mike, I was thinking about it the other day, and like it's a great movie, right?
Yeah, it is a great movie.
Really good movie. It holds up, even over time. I don't even know when it was. 1997.
Jesus Christ.
Been
old.
20 years. And it still holds up. You can still watch it and you can still enjoy it. And the thing that I was thinking about was, how powerful was that company? I'm trying to think of the name of the company. Let's see. It's got to be in here. CRS, Consumer Recreation Services.
Yeah.
Because how much shit did this poor bastard go through? Nicholas Van Orton. I mean, he went through car chases. He's had guns fired at him. But they're doing all of this shit in broad daylight or when there's people around. My question is, how much fucking power did that company have?
Dude.
I mean, do they have cops in their pocket? I mean,
probably.
Because they're just allowed to do this shit and then go, oh, it's just a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a game. I was gonna tell you how much food I ate during my birthday.
Do another one of these? Oh, a birthday meal, or was it all day?
No, it was like all day. Like it's crazy. And
you're a fucking pig.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it short. Or somebody brought me a cheesecake. It was like a strawberry cheesecake pie type thing.
Okay.
It wasn't like a cake. It was in a pie crust, but I guess they call it a cheesecake pie, strawberry cheesecake pie. I don't know. It's like a hybrid. And so I shared that fucker, right? And I made sure that everybody got a piece, even if they didn't want a piece, because I didn't want to take it home. And then my boss comes in with an ice cream.
I think I saw this picture.
It was this ice cream cake, and I'm like, oh fuck! And then that same day, some of my coworkers took me to Buffalo Wild Wings, and unfortunately, I saw your Patriots lose.
Yes, I'm not even gonna get into it.
But I can't really laugh because I think I saw it till like 3 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah.
It's when I left. But they were winning, and then all of a sudden the next day I heard people talking, and I'm like, no, wait, the Patriots won, didn't it? And they're like, no.
No, they got their ass handed to them. And I've already said this to people. It's like they deserve to lose. Because the one thing that I saw during the game is, like, I saw Tom Brady talking with, like, Chris Hogan, and they're just sitting on the sidelines laughing and having a good time. Like it's a fucking preseason game, right? And that pissed me off. I'm like, okay, got the Super Bowl champs sitting on the sidelines acting like they still are the Super Bowl champs.
Yeah. And then
that shit pissed me off.
There's like all this showboating before the game started. Like,
yep.
20 something point
28
deficit.
to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they deserved it. They deserved to get their ass handed to them. And there was no reason for the Kansas City fucking Chiefs, which I'm not going to say they're a bad team. They're not a bad team. But there's no way they should have won that game. It pisses me off. I hope they get their head straight, because I know Bill Belichick gave it to them during film time. What the fuck were you guys doing out there? And I saw Tom Brady do something I haven't seen him do since he was like in his second year, was he went over the line of scrimmage and threw the ball.
Oh.
Illegal pass. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? But I really do think that they just weren't prepared. Like they went into it. They could have won. You saw them in like the first quarter. They were just doing whatever the hell they wanted to do.
Yep.
And they just took the foot off the gas. No. If you're winning, you keep your fucking foot on their neck.
Hey, Lonnie.
But whatever. You're going to get me all riled up.
I'm sorry. Did you get a chance to see that movie that I sent you? The Discovery?
No, I have not. I have been super busy, and I actually have it on my bookmarks here.
All right. So
You should see my bookmarks tab. It's so fucking ridiculous.
So anyways, for those who haven't seen or heard of this movie, I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix, so I don't think it came out to in theaters. It's like a Netflix exclusive, right?
Yeah.
I think so. So it's called
sure.
It's called Discovery. And I'm just gonna say what was told to me when my friend recommended this movie, because you do give if you go into a story, you give a lot of it. So but it ties into one of the theories that we've been talking from the inception of this podcast, which was the possibility of parallel universes.
Yeah.
Right? So it kind of ties into that. So without giving anything further, I'll give you 2 weeks to watch this movie, okay. and then we'll talk about it.
I might actually watch it tonight because Christelle's not home, and after we're done recording, I got nothing else to do.
All right. So the premise is this. So Robert Redford is a doctor, right? And he makes this discovery, this huge discovery, and that is that he can scientifically confirm that when you die, you go somewhere else. Like your soul actually goes somewhere else. So what people start doing is now they know for sure, right? So that they have a guarantee that they're going to essentially have a different type of life after this life. So people just go fucking crazy and start committing suicide. So the suicide rates when, 2 years after the discovery, it's in the 4 million or 4 billion or something like that. So it's super crazy. And it's just one of those movies where I don't know, Lonnie, what would you do? Like, would you? So if somebody comes in today, like in this movie, like Robert Redford, this makes this discovery and says, I can scientifically guaranteed that there's life after death. Your soul, you go somewhere. I can guarantee it. I can prove it, scientifically prove it in this life, that when you die, you go somewhere else.
But you just can't prove where.
Right. That's kind of part of the movie.
Yeah.
From the discovery, then, like I said, people just start killing themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, fuck this. Like, I have a miserable, shitty life, then I'm guaranteed that I'm going somewhere to a different plane of existence, or, that there is life after death. Then fuck, I'm super in debt, I'm miserable, I'm depressed, I'm gonna fucking go somewhere else, and they just kill themselves, right?
Well, yeah, why not?
So you would fall under that pool of people that would just be like, yeah, fuck it.
I could go into my own religious beliefs, but I'm not going to. But I may not be as as excited as some people might be, or not excited, but astounded at that, just because of my own belief system. But I totally get why people would just be like, dude, this is fucking bullshit. Like, if I know that I'm going somewhere, I mean, what would stop someone from saying, okay, there's life after death, we don't know where we're going, why not just go through all of the religions and go through the motions and say, okay, this is what I got to do for this. This is what I got to do for this. This is what I got to do for this. Gun, bang, done. So seriously.
So like I said, but you got to watch the movie, because that's the premise that was given to me. That's the only information that was given to me. I'm just gonna add that it ties into the parallel universe theory that we've been talking to, and I think this movie does a really, really good job at explaining.
Okay, well, I'll probably watch it tonight.
So, but when he told me, it's like, yeah, what would you do? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
Probably freak out a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see why people would just be like, yeah, fuck this shit, you know? I'm guaranteed that I'm going somewhere else. So
you just that's the only problem is like the unknown of where.
Yeah.
That would bug me if I didn't believe anything. That would just bug me. But like, okay, I go somewhere, but I don't know where. That would probably keep a lot of people around.
Which led me to think about, a secondary portion of this. Like, let's say that does happen. Yeah. What would be your last meal, or your last conjugal visit? Who would it be with?
My wife.
Dude, you can select anybody in this fucking world.
Okay, my wife.
I'm playing it safe, I see.
Well, have you seen, I don't know what it's going to be like, but you've probably seen Jurassic World.
Yeah, I've seen Jurassic World.
Did you enjoy it?
That's alright.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't Jurassic Park 3. So,
Jurassic
it had
Park
that going for it.
Jurassic Park 3 was horrible.
So bad. So bad.
I mean, part two was, I was kind of like, eh.
Part 2 was kind of like, it got into the realm of ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so bad that it like just totally turns you off from the film.
Yeah, part 3 sucked.
Part 3 was so fucking terrible. But I had not really any high hopes for Jurassic World. So when I watched it, I was like, you know what, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't awful. So they have the new one coming out. Have you seen this?
No.
There's a sequel to Jurassic World that's coming out. And I was just wondering if you had known about it and if you had any thoughts on it.
No,
do you think they should just stop?
I mean, it's Chris Pratt.
Cliff Pratt.
Cliff Pratt.
I like Cliff Pratt too.
Is he coming back?
Yes, I think so.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure. And Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard. He's the
chick.
The chick. No,
he's the chick.
He's the chick. Bryce. I'm like, no. What? I was thinking about the Asian dude. Who's the Asian dude? Like, he was from part 1. Like, I remember him.
Yeah. I think he died, didn't he?
No, didn't he escape?
No, he survived. He got out.
Yeah, he was almost like, fuck
and
this shit.
And he took a bunch of the scientific stuff with them.
Yeah.
That sounded so terrible. I sound like such an idiot.
He was one of the original...
scientific stuff.
The scientific stuff. The goo. I mean, we are talking about a sci-fi movie here, so it's not like anything really scientific in it.
Yeah. What else? There's other movies coming out. I just don't. I do want to watch the one that you had turned me on to, which was the Foreigner.
Oh man, that looks so badass! I can't wait.
Jackie, and then
Blade Runner, bro. Blade Runner.
Oh, dude!
I'm telling you, it's gonna go under the radar. It's gonna go under the radar.
So good.
It looks gonna go under the radar, and I'm gonna be happy when I go to the VIP theater and I'm like by myself. Maybe like a couple of like, nerds out there, but it'll be alone. I won't have like people. I won't hear like people chewing on their food with their mouth open.
How peaceful is that movie? The original.
Really, very peaceful.
I mean, you can watch that movie. I mean, because it's got gory parts, right?
Yeah.
Like with the guy that works in the cryogenics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, God, that is such a good movie to relax to. And when I see the trailers, like especially the new trailer, if you've probably seen the new trailer,
I have.
It just looks so good, like with all of the sets and stuff like that, all of the characters and everything. Like, I never thought I'd say, having what's his name, Ryan Gosling in a Blade Runner movie would be amazing. If you would have told me this like 3 years ago, I would have been like, fuck you, Ryan Gosling. But he just looks so good with the sets and stuff.
He looks the part, man. He looks the part. So,
and he's got like that calm demeanor. that's just perfect for it. And, oh, dude, I can't wait. I hope that it doesn't fucking fail.
Well, like I said, I think on like the box office numbers are gonna.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean on like delivery.
Oh no, I think it's gonna be like Mad Max, where, like everybody was going like, really, like, and then they said like, and it's like, well, it's the same.
There's no way you can pull it off.
It's the original director, and it's like, but it's been like 20 years or whatever.
It was so good.
But it was good. So I have high hopes for Blade Runner.
You know what was great about the new Mad Max? The plot. It was so simple. Yeah,
we just went in one direction and we came back.
It was fucking great.
Yeah, but it at least me, like, it left me, like, a lot of people was like, oh, how come they didn't explain the guys like in like the Crow guys? And I'm like, because that's the movie. It's just showing you a world, and it doesn't fucking matter. They're not relevant, but they exist.
And the great part was that it felt like just like a side story.
Yeah. And
that side story, it didn't. Okay, you've seen the Star Wars Rogue One or Rogue Squadron? Rogue One.
I haven't seen it. I refuse to watch it. Well, I've seen the honest trailer of it.
Now, with that movie, like, they did a pretty good job of making themselves like a side story and then like moving into A New Hope. Like, that portion was the best part of that movie, was how they told you what was happening with the Death Star plans and how they got them and all that stuff. They did great with that. But then there was some stuff that you're kind of like, that's kind of unnecessary. I don't give a shit. Like, it's pretty much all about the Skywalker family. That's all I care about, right? But with Mad Max, it had almost nothing to do with certain portions of like the original movies.
Right.
But it just felt like Mad Max.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, that's what I want. I just want, I want a good story from that world. And now that I've seen what happened with the Dark Tower.
Oh man, I haven't seen that movie, but
don't know if I want to.
But
I'm scared.
I saw that it fucking bombed.
Like, really bad.
Yeah, like I'm walking out of this movie bombed type of thing. Yeah, it sucks.
And now I'm just like, do I want to? Should I ruin this for myself?
Yeah.
Because if I watch the movie, I know that I'll go back and read the Dark Tower series, and those fucking images will be in my head.
How many books are there? I can't remember.
I think there's 7, aren't there?
That's what I thought 6, but I'm on a Wikipedia.
Go ahead and look that shit up. You gotta Bing that shit.
Bing that shit. Let's see, Dark Tower.
Are they redoing any of the Dragon Ball Z stuff?
They already did.
No, they did some of it. Like, they did like the movie, and then they did some of the series.
Yeah, they cut like, unnecessary episodes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've already talked to you on this podcast about the Team 4 star.
Holy shit, it has 8.
It has 8?
Yeah.
Have I even read the last one? What's the last one?
The Dark Tower that went through the keyhole. Came out in 2012. I have not read that. Came out in 2012.
What the fuck?
Dude,
How did I miss this?
Like I said, I thought there was 6. The Song of Susanna, I think that the Song of Susanna was like the last one I...
So what was the 7th book?
The Dark Tower. I'm sorry, the Dark Tower was the 7th book. The Dark Tower 7, titled The Dark Tower.
Okay, then I've read that. I just haven't read the 8th one. So you're telling me I've been on like this whole Dark Tower cliffhanger for like the last 5 years?
Yeah.
Wow. And I haven't even thought about it. Now,
so I just heard that, or my friend told me, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it now. It's like, oh, I saw it. It's like, well, at the end he kills the wizard, and I'm like,
he kills the wizard.
I'm like, he kills the wizard. It's like he kills Matthew McConaughey. It's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't remember that happening on the first book.
No, that didn't happen in the first book.
So I don't know how many books they meshed into this movie, or if they're
it
even.
sounds like too many.
So I was like, he kills the wizard at the end. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
Don't get me wrong, the gunslinger is a fucking amazing character, but I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch it now. Now I'm kind of pissed off. Seriously. You know, talking about all the Dragon Ball Z stuff and all these YouTube videos that I've been watching lately, I have to agree with you. Like, reaction videos are some of my favorites. Have you seen the that one video of the reaction to Lord Baelish getting executed?
No, I haven't seen those. I haven't seen those ones.
Those are
The
good,
last,
dude.
like I said, the last ones that I saw were the ones when what was it? The previous episode.
Previous episode. What happened in the previous episode? The dragon?
Yeah, the frost dragon, right?
No, that was the last. That was the last episode.
No.
Oh, you mean when he turns him into?
When he turns him into
Okay.
a frost dragon. I saw the directions of that one, but I haven't seen the one for the last episode.
I've seen a lot of not to get into too much GOT talk, but I've seen a lot of prediction videos, like people trying to say like, oh, this might happen in season 8. And,
Dude, I stopped watching those things because a lot of them are just like, you're like, where the fuck are you like? You're just like throwing stuff. You're just like, you're not even
shit up against the wall to see what sticks.
You're not even trying right now, dude.
The one theory that I did gather and that I actually did like and actually makes sense is Bran warging into Viserion.
Yeah, that one
because of the prediction that the original Three-Eyed Raven made, that Bran, you will never walk again, but you will fly.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
now
that one
wouldn't make any sense for like it's like, yeah, you could say that it's the crows,
right?
but it just seems too mild.
Well,
and if we know anything about Game of Thrones, it's like they don't make statements like that unless they plan on doing something
right
big.
And I think I've talked about this like way before, like way back, like in the first episodes of like Bran, when that I saw like, oh, I think he eventually is gonna be like one of the dragons,
Yeah,
or he's gonna fly, because initially like Drogon was like out of control, right, in the show.
pretty much. Yeah.
So I think I that was my prediction of like, oh no, I think Bran eventually will be the dragon. That's how they're gonna control it and be able to like use him in battle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Bran might just get killed.
Well, I think it's interesting the whole connection that Bran has with the Night King. You know, it's kind of a weird connection. And the one thing that I will say is that my prediction is that the Night King is not this like overarching evil that everybody thinks he is. I think that he has motives that make sense.
Right.
You know, like any good villain is a villain that you can connect with, right? Like if you go with the Joker, for instance, if that shit happened to you, the things that have happened to the Joker, like if you go with the Killing Joke,
right?
If that kind of shit happened to you, you can connect with that and say like, okay, maybe I wouldn't have gone that far, but at the same time, I get it.
Yeah.
And then any good villain is someone that will speak and you can relate to in some way. Like you can sympathize with, essentially. You know, like it's the same thing for that movie Unbreakable with Mr. Glass.
Right.
It's like you get it. You understand.
Yeah.
You know, like what he's going through. It's just that you would never go that far.
Right.
But you understand how someone would snap.
Well, I don't know. Like, well, Mr. Glass is kind of unique though, because he was trying to find his purpose.
Yeah. And you can, but you can understand that though.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Is that just coughing?
Yeah, that was just coughing.
Okay. See, I'm all alone as a parent here tonight, so I gotta make sure. What the hell?
And like,
Well, I can go check if you want to go take your bathroom break.
I mean, I don't even need to pee, but I did just drink this 23-ounce Arnie Palmer. May he rest in peace.
Ah, poor Arnold.
I know, man. We lost him.
He did give us good drinks.
Yeah, he gave us good drink, good golf. So,
yep.
All right, yeah. Let's take a break. We'll be back, yo. And we're back.
We are back.
I had to have a smoke.
A smoke?
A cigarette.
The hell is wrong with you?
I don't know, dude. Stress.
You don't need that shit.
I know.
Now, you do know that back in the day they used to have cigarettes in MREs.
Yes.
I do believe they needed it more, though. But now what do we have to relax? We got yoga. Yeah.
Yoga and meditation.
Yep, and relaxing binaural beats on YouTube.
Hey, that shit works, man.
It does. Have you ever heard of that song by Marconi Union, Weightless?
No.
It's actually it's like an 8-minute song, but they actually have a warning on the song not to listen to it while you're driving, because people have been known to like pass out and fall asleep and stuff. It's actually a really good song to study with. Like I do it for school.
And now. You pass out?
No. I don't get affected by it like those people do, but I could see how you could. It's very relaxing, but I use it to study with. They have versions of it on YouTube that are like 10 hours long where it just repeats itself.
Oh, so it's stuck in a loop?
Yeah. But you should look it up. I might actually put it on the show notes.
Do put it. Yeah, write it in.
Marconi Union Weightless. You people would love this stuff. It's actually really good for you. So yeah.
Warning, don't listen to it while driving.
Do not listen to it while you're driving.
Operating heavy machinery. One
of these things that I saw on YouTube just yesterday, I think, this guy makes by hand a Jumanji game board. And it's like a 15-minute video. I'm not going to force you to watch it right now, but you should go and look at it later on.
All right.
He really put some time into it. Like, he does the magnets and stuff like that, so when he throws the game piece on it, like, sticks
that's
to the edge. Oh, dude, it's so fucking cool. But I've been noticing there's a lot of, like...
Do they move automatically, too?
No.
Random animals come out and hunters and jungles and shit.
This will not be an easy mission. Monkeys slow the expedition. No, but I've been noticing there's a big rise in popularity with the original Jumanji movie lately. Have you noticed this shit?
No.
Like there's a lot of stuff happening with it because they have the new movie coming out that doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as good as the original.
It's with The Rock, right?
Yeah, it's got The Rock. It's got Kevin Hart. I think it's got Black Jack or Jack Black. Did I say Black Jack?
Black Jack, yeah.
Jack Black.
Jack Black.
And then some clam.
Yeah, you got to show that camel toe, man.
Yeah,
that's what sells.
But God made camel toes, and I'm not gonna. You're not gonna object?
No.
The one movie that Christelle and I watched recently that we thought was gonna suck balls, and it kind of did, but it in a good way, was Baywatch.
Oh, Baywatch,
dude, you gotta watch it. It's pretty fucking funny. It is The Rock, and it's got what's his name, Zac Efron.
Yeah.
And they actually are pretty good together. And of course, it's got your girl, Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah, smoking hot, man. Those eyes, funny.
She's actually pretty funny in this movie. You'd enjoy it.
She showed her boobs.
No, I don't think there's actually any boobs in this movie.
I guess I'll watch True Detective then.
Oh, no. That's not correct. I'd have to ask Christelle, but she's not here. She remembers all the boobs. So,
so what's the thing that I'm reading here that companies are contacting you?
Yes, I actually just recently got an email in my school inbox from some company. I don't remember the name of it, but they're already asking me when I graduate. So I guess that's a good thing. I'm not really sure.
And be like, no. Like, how much are you paying?
Well, they don't mention it, of course, but I found out from the wife, like that I'm actually in a good field of information technology, because I didn't know that there was like differences. I thought that you just get information technology and like you get like a, like you're an IT associate somewhere. But she knows this girl from high school who's married to a guy who only has an associate's degree, and the guy makes over $100,000 a year, but it's because he has a networking certificate.
Oh, okay.
And apparently, building and managing networks makes a lot of money. And that's exactly what I'm going to school for. I'm getting my networking certificate. And basically what these guys do is they build networks according to, the business's needs. And there's all kinds of different, setups and stuff like that. You can do like a star grid or the ring pattern or whatever. And I don't know. I'm not going to explain it all, but it's really basic stuff, right? But for people that don't want to have to deal with it, they hire an IT guy that has a networking certificate and they pay him a lot of money. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be some networking assistant or something like that. But I got pretty excited because I already got companies emailing me and asking me when I'm graduating. So that's kind of cool. So to the business that I work at right now, if I do get a better deal, I'm sorry, I'm leaving.
So when you start making six figures and stuff, are you just going to adopt me or what?
Yes, I will adopt you, and Anna can't come. I have this thing against Mexican females, so.
What? Dude, what are you talking about?
Of course.
I think it was. Who was it? It was on Joe Rogan's. What's that guy's name? Oh, Joey Diaz.
Oh yeah, Joey Diaz.
I think Joey
he's
Diaz,
like the uncle of what's his name, the MMA fighter.
Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he's like the uncle or second cousin or something like that to Nate Diaz.
Yeah. No, well, he was saying that's he was like going on a rant, but all I remember was like, that's why we can't build this fucking wall and get rid of all these Mexicans. Like, nobody's gonna raise their kids. All these Mexicans, all these Latin or Latino women are raising all these white kids. Like, who's gonna raise those kids? So funny,
dude. Have you been watching some of Joe Rogan's latest guests recently?
No,
he's been having some serious guests on.
The last one I saw was it was Ari Shaffir. No, it was him and Tom Segura on the 1000 episode, and then I saw one afterward with Ari Shaffir, and I think Tom Segura
Ari Shaffir's been on 100 times.
Yeah, I know, and I think it came back with Tom Segura and somebody else.
I don't know if person that's been on 3 dozen times.
But yeah, no, I go off and on the Joe Rogan one because they're so long. So
they're 3.5 hours, 4 hours sometimes.
Unless I'm interested in the topic, I skip them. I always listen to the Bill Burr one. So.
Oh yeah, Bill Burr always has good stuff. Even if it's just a section of his podcast, it's worth listening to the whole thing just to get to his little rants on things.
Yeah.
I especially love Bill Burr's podcast when it's football season. Because inevitably he's going to have something to say about the Colts or how shitty the Patriots just did in a game, or how It's fucking hilarious that a team thought they could beat the Patriots or something along those lines. But it's that's why I always said, like before, that Bill Burr has one of the best sports podcasts, even though it's not a sports podcast. Because he'll talk about hockey and baseball and football and all that stuff. But I've been having a lot of people ask us when we're going to have our next guest.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Like, who are these people? I mean,
I don't work with.
I don't ever see them. Like, I don't hear from them in the emails.
I know.
I definitely don't see any comments on YouTube. No new subscriptions. So you know what? I mean, are they tired of me? Am I the problem?
No,
people. Am I the problem?
Here's the issue. We did this to ourselves, Zumi. We have a podcast, and I said it in our intro, and I did this on purpose. We have no genre, and we have no goal. Okay, like, what's the one thing most podcasts usually have? It's like they have a niche, right?
Yeah.
They have some group, like, say it's like a Game of Thrones podcast, or it's like a comic book podcast, or something like that, right? We don't have that. The one thing that you could say our genre is we don't give a fuck. We just talk.
Yeah. I mean, we do everything.
Yeah. And
maybe that's our problem, Lonnie. We're shooting, it's like sales, right? If you shoot for everybody, you don't sell to nobody, but when you like make it more specific, you actually make sales.
But that's not really what I'm looking for, like I like doing it this way. Don't you?
I do. But I also want to be rich. I don't necessarily want to be right.
I'm trying to go with Arnold Schwarzenegger's method. If nobody's ever done it, you should be the first one to do it. Let's be the first podcast about nothing that makes money.
Okay. I like that.
I'm tired of people I've had people tell me like, well, why don't you just do like a podcast about like Game of Thrones? It's like, well, because there's 1,000 different podcasts out there about Game of Thrones. Why the fuck would anybody listen to us?
Because we're cool as fuck.
And we might be, but well, we're not. But maybe we should make a Jumanji podcast.
I know, right? Like,
and watch us get 10,000 followers off of something stupid like that. No, I'm not willing to sell myself for something like that because I'm not interested in it enough.
I will say this, and I've talked about this before. A guy made his million selling pet rocks. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can come up with something, right?
Well, I just read an article today that the title was like something like the modern podcaster is the new entrepreneurs.
Oh, there you go.
And it was talking about like how they make their money and stuff. This is why I was interested in the article. It was because it was like how they make their money. It's like, okay, how the fuck are people making their money?
I noticed though, like, because we use Shout Engine, right? That's like our main. That's how we started, and we're keeping to a certain extent. We're pretty loyal.
Yes, and you know what? I honestly love Shout Engine. And I'm not trying to make this like an advertisement. This is like just being honest. I love Shout Engine.
I don't like one thing from Shout Engine. And this is why I the whole YouTube thing, I kind of did it more for me than for you guys. I'm sorry. But I don't like that if in Shout Engine, if I lose my 4G LTE whatever connection.
Yeah, there's no way that you're going to get your
It restarts from the beginning. I can't just like pick a point.
Well,
in
it's
the middle.
One of those things. Like it's a give and take.
Yeah. So
for basic needs, Shout
YouTube,
Engine is fantastic.
Yeah.
But for anything beyond that,
yeah,
I don't know.
So on YouTube, I can actually skip. So that's why I listen to the podcast on. And yes, I do listen to our own podcast.
Well, I listen to it out of necessity. But I also do take it with me. Like I download the episodes to listen to at work. Like just to kind of like fast forward through, like and listen to like say like a certain portion of it and say, okay, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't talk about this as much, or maybe we should try something new with that. But for the most part, I just let us talk. You know, like I think it's better to just talk. You know,
And this is the thing. Like, if this was a regular phone conversation, this is exactly how it would have gone. Like, we don't have like we don't have
there's little differences. There's little differences, but it really is basically a phone call between you and I. And I've had some people ask me, like, you know, when you guys are together, to like, you know, this is how you talk. I'm like, you don't understand. We're not together when we're on the podcast. Like, they wouldn't have asked that in like the first 5 episodes.
Yeah, right. Because that was
obvious.
Straight up Skype call.
Yeah. Well, now that we record separately, we kind of just add them together. You know, like, if anybody has any advice, like, on how to do stuff, or if they need advice, like, apparently, I've told you, I go on to the podcasting subreddit. I go on to forums and stuff like that, and I see the stories of people that start up podcasts or that have failed at a certain podcast, and they tell their story, like what they've done and how they, you know, tried to make money, they just couldn't do it, or, you know, stuff like that. And like I've said before, I kind of feel bad because we're those jackasses that kind of got a fan base that, according to these people, we have a large fan base.
Right.
And, you know, like, of course we're not like somebody like Bill Burr or Joe Rogan, where we have millions of people that listen. Yet. But as far as people that, you know, like, nobody knows who the fuck we are. We have a pretty large fan base.
Well, did you tell that story, though?
Which one?
The one where you're like, you sound familiar.
Oh, the guy checking me out.
Yeah.
Or not the guy checking me out, but the cashier.
Yeah, I knew what you were saying, though.
Yeah. I have to clarify for the audience, because now they're going to be assholes, and that's going to be the one thing they comment on. It's like, the guy was checking you out.
Yeah, don't be jelly.
The story goes is there was I was at the store, and I was talking to the guy. I don't even remember what I was talking to him about now. I mean, it's
liquor.
That's right. It was about the whiskey, right? And the guy asked me, he said, like, you sound familiar. You know, like, are you a part of something? Like, do you do anything? And I just said no. Like, you know, no, I'm not on TV or anything. And then I get home and I tell Christelle, and she's like, well, it's probably the podcast. And I'm like, oh shit.
She's just giving you a list there, like, Lonnie?
Like, dude, I could have totally, like, made, like, an opportunity out of that and be like, yeah, dude, tell your friends, you know, like, now I know somebody that, you know, like, outside of work or my friends and family, or like those random ass people that I have no idea who they are, you know, like, that listen to the podcast. But yeah, apparently it's working with somebody, you know. But for the most part, people have said, you know, we need to get another guest, because it's just, they said that we're, you know, the people that are asking us to get guests are the people that say that we do really good with a guest. But honestly, I have to give Jag most of the credit on that, because he was an amazing first guest.
Yeah, he was.
Our only guest, I guess you could say. Well, I've had Matt on as a fill-in for you, and that was okay. I mean, Matt does pretty good because he's already done other podcasts. But maybe, like, I was thinking of a good time to get in Doug from work. You know, the conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be so much fun, though.
Yeah, it would. And like I said before, the only thing is that we're going to have like an agenda, or, you know, we're going to have like a set list, like a detailed set list of what we're going to go over, because he could go on forever. He's a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
You know, like a true conspiracy theorist. And we'll get him on. And what I think I'm going to do is, because we're kind of in the process of getting ready to move, because I don't think I told you this yet, we pretty much started the process of buying a home. So once that is done and like we're moved in, I will get him in as a guest.
Right on.
since I'm not technically allowed to do it in an apartment because it's business, even though we're not really making any money, if somebody were to find out, I'm not allowed to do it. They'd kick us out. So once that process is done, and I'm moved, it won't take very long, and I'll have my own studio within the house, because it's kind
bitch.
I know. Once we have all that stuff set up, I'll have him on, and he'll be our guest. In the meantime, though, anybody that you'd like to have on, I would love to have anybody.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm still trying to get my friend Shane. He would be a perfect guest because he has so many stories that are just hilarious,
Oh yeah.
And if I tell the story that he's told me, I will not do him any justice.
Oh yeah.
Because
the best stories that we have, I think, are the military stories.
Yeah, and a lot of them are military related stories, but he also has stories that of when he was a teenager and stuff that are pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna shoot him a text. I'll make the call too.
Yeah.
Just to be like, hey, dude, come on, you told me yes.
Do it.
Yeah, you told me yes. Come on. Let this be the one,
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing is that I've been shooting out a lot of emails to different celebrities, and just so people know, 99% of these things are going to get shot down. Just because we're asking celebrities to do it for free, and to just jump on Skype and do a short interview like we did with Sir Jag. And most of them don't have the time. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt, but I have gotten contacted back, by certain people, that either say no or something like that. So the process has been started. It's just, to get those big guests, I have to put the word out, so to speak. Yeah. Hey, we'd like to have you and stuff. The one guy that I would really like to get, though, is Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Dude, seriously, the guy is one of the most interesting people in the sports realm. That I would just love to just have just 15 minutes. Mike, if you're listening, I know you're not. I would love to have you on as a guest because you're just such an interesting guy. The guy has his own show in Vegas. He sings in this show. Mike fucking Tyson sings in his own show in Vegas. That is crazy to me. And he has his own podcast too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I just started listening. It's fucking great. He just talks. Iron Mike Tyson has a fucking podcast.
Dynamite.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I don't know.
We got to get somebody.
Yeah, it's maybe this is, I don't know if it's just me, but when I started podcasting, I thought it was just gonna be the topics or the things that I have to say, everybody wants to listen to. Yeah. And that may be the case, but fuck, dude, if you don't have a good marketing strategy, shit, it doesn't.
It is hard, but I will say that I'll always go back to our original. I guess you could say goal. Our original goal has always been, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, we're just having fun.
Yeah, we're still talking, we're communicating, we're keeping in touch, keeping up. So we're keeping up to date in our lives.
The only thing I would say is that we don't get to talk about everything during
the
week. Because dude, don't save it. Yeah. Save it for the podcast.
Yeah, I can't tell you about the orgy I had with the 5 hookers in Mexico.
Yeah, which is total bullshit. I know you better than that.
Oh yeah, no, but I wanted to tell you something about the whole reason why I brought Shout Engine is because Shout Engine actually has a section of podcasts, and I have listened to different podcasts, and some of them are okay, some of them are funny, but then they just stop. And it's not like I was we're pushing episode 32 now, right?
Yep, this is
And-
episode 32.
And these guys are stopping at like episode 9, episode 7, like
dude.
episode 5, and you're just like, fuck, dude. So, I mean, to be consistent I think it's like one of the hardest things to do.
Oh, for sure.
And I think the other one is, it's just like, well, like I said, if you have a niche, it's like, let's say, you know, the Patriots podcast you used to be on.
Yeah.
Football season's over. Like, what else is there to be talked about?
Well,
other than like
the guy that's still doing that, the guy that I don't get along with, I will say, like he is still doing a good job. Like he still does it, and he's been getting guests. Most of them are like journalists for the Patriots. You know, like, but he had to work hard at it. That's no joke. Like he had to like try to get in contact with people, and the best he could really do is like journalists. But that's a big step.
oh yeah.
And he stayed consistent through the off season. There's still stuff that happens during the off season, but it's not nearly what it is during football season, obviously. But yeah, like you say, like that is most definitely the hardest thing, is to stay consistent. It's one of the big reasons why we switched to bi-weekly.
Yeah. Well, that and you started school because.
Yeah.
But well, and I guess that. Like for us, is consistency is not really an issue because we're always talking about shit, and we always have stuff that happens, or whether it's a new movie or a new show,
Or if we just want to talk.
or if you just want to talk about
It
like,
usually leads somewhere.
yeah, yeah. We chase a lot of squirrels, but you know they tend to be like kind of like interesting
Somewhat.
squirrels, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say it's weird.
Yep. I think podcasting, like when you start out podcasting, it kind of, you don't really know what you're doing. Like, I don't care what kind of podcast you do. You're not going to know what you're really doing until like the 10th episode. And you're not really going to find your voice at least until like, I would say you can't find your voice for podcasting until like episode 5.
Yeah.
Like you'll get it. Like you'll start to feel the flow. And when I say voice, it's like, you know, like your distance from the microphone, like that stuff doesn't come, like the perfection of it doesn't come until way later on.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it was just recently.
Yeah,
like just a few
listen,
episodes.
listen to the first episode. You always hear me fucking giggling at the beginning because I just couldn't hold it.
Yeah. And,
Nah,
you find control.
And it's really hard for me to just keep, like, I've been keeping this, just saying, doing well, Lonnie. Like, and I recite that, like, I'm doing well, Lonnie. I'm like, doing well.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not, you know, like, but,
And how nervous were you in the first few episodes?
well, like I said, I was giggling like a fucking schoolgirl. Like,
I know
how
I
I
was, because I was just like, I was kind of uncomfortable with it because I didn't know what we were doing. And it's like, what are we going to talk about?
It could have been worse though, because you could have like that crack voice.
I've had it happen a couple of times, but at least we've been you know, like we've been consistent enough to where, you know, like our listeners stay, and we have growth, and it's slow, but we still have growth. The only thing that I wish we would do better is like advertising and, you know, like getting more word out, because we've kind of reached the pinnacle of like our friends and family and people we know.
Right.
You know, so then the next part would be, you know, like broadening our fan base. And I have some ideas, you know, but I won't share them on the podcast. Some of them I've talked to you about that are kind of like, you know, little clever ways that you could do it that are kind of somewhat free.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll get there. But in the meantime, I really enjoy doing it this way.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing for me, one of the most difficult things for me is microphone discipline.
Dude, I know. I'm the one, the biggest one to blame on as far as microphone discipline.
Well, yours I didn't even notice until just recently. Like the last few episodes, like the one where like, you know, getting the microphone closer.
Yeah.
Until like I was just editing one day and I'm like, you know what? Like I keep on doing this thing where like I'm upping your volume. Like I'm always like lifting Zoomies volume up every time I edit. And I'm like, okay, let's try something different. You're like, get closer to the microphone. Like, oh shit. There it is. You know. But it really is difficult. I mean, the boom and stuff that I have helps a little bit, but I still have to keep, you know, like I have to keep my head in one place, and that's really weird. It's way different than having a normal conversation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and for me, it's like just keeping still because like we Mexicans, we jump all over the place. So and I do that. So,
well, I think one of the big things that we could do later on, like maybe is like on our 100th episode, all the things that we've learned, all the things that we've done, you know, like maybe we can make like a 2 or 3 episode podcast of like teaching people or like giving advice to people that want to start up a podcast.
Shit, bro. Like they won't even send a question on advice on regular daily stuff. You think they're going to give like, hey, give me
and
some
by
podcast.
then, you know, you never know. By then, we may have figured out how to get interaction with the audience.
I know, right? It's like we're probably a bunch of sellouts by that time.
You're like, oh, I'm not going to do that shit. Fuck that. I'm going to make money.
Oh man.
Well, where are we? Like, how far? Oh shit, we haven't really necessarily passed 2 hours quite yet, just because of the breaks and stuff. But we're getting close.
And I don't really have a rant tonight. I got it.
God.
Well, I got it out in the fucking first 5 minutes. You asked me how my week was,
right.
and it's like,
I should have waited. So yeah, I mean, other than buying a new home and trying to dude, that is such a fucking process.
It is, yeah.
Holy shit!
I
There's
mean,
a lot of paperwork.
I went through it once, and it's definitely not easy. It's a lot of signing, a lot of initials, a lot of.
Well, now they have e-signing available, which makes some of it a little bit easier, because now you can just kind of click
and then there's like
and get it done that way.
Back and forth, and it's like, oh, they didn't sign this one, they didn't sign that one. So,
oh, I got my son coming in.
Oh.
Well, we might have to end it here pretty soon. Nathaniel, I'll be with you in a second, okay, buddy? Okay? Go sit down. Go to the bathroom or something. He's all disheveled.
Do some jumping jacks. I don't know. Push-ups.
go eat some cake or something. I don't know. Well, if you want to end it there, we can end it there, and I'll do the outro and get out of here and let these people get on with their daily lives.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Let's. So yeah, but no promises. We'll get a guest soon.
Yeah. Even if it's a normal, everyday person. Why not?
Yeah. You know what? That doesn't sound like a bad idea at all.
Here's Jeff the plumber. All right. Well, I'll do my outro and
thought it was Joe Plumber.
Yeah, sure. Why
not? You know, the one that Barack Obama used for his, propaganda campaign thing.
Oh yeah, all of his stories and shit.
Which I'm pretty sure fucking Joe the Plumber got taxed the shit out of it. He's like, oh, you won't get it. It's like, well, what about me, Mo? Like, what about me? No.
For real, right?
No, you got taxed. I'm pretty sure. We should look up who Joe the Plumber was. Remember that when the election was going? We should look for that guy who's like, hey, so what do you think about Obama now?
Fuck that guy. Probably say some racist shit. And
be like, oh, okay, we're just not going to air that one.
All right. Well, let's get this outro going. And yeah, here we go. This episode of the Nothing Better to Listen To podcast can be downloaded on iTunes, Google Play, or directly from shoutengine.com. You can visit our website, NBTLTpodcast.com. Be sure to leave us a review on iTunes or Google Play or Shout Engine even, if you like the episode or if you just have some shit you want to talk to us about or if you just want to call us dumbasses. Our bumper music is provided by bensound.com. You can like us on Facebook, talk to us on Twitter at NBTLT Podcast, and you can always send us an email with your questions or comments at mail@nbtltpodcast.com. Our NBTLT Podcast, we're also on Reddit at reddit.com/r/NBTLT. And finally, go to our YouTube channel. Just type in NBTLT in YouTube and hit that fucking subscribe button so that we can get some more likes and comments and all that other shit and start making some money off of you people. And that's going to be it.
Patreon account? Nothing yet?
Patreon account? I just didn't have time because I'm an asshole.
See,
I have a job, motherfucker.
Dude, but you're like, I was going to say, like, you're like that one guy that says that he can never find a job. How are we supposed to make, my account bigger so I can buy a good microphone or a better microphone? Because this one's good. It's okay.
We got to get you a whole setup. I'm going to buy you like a soundproof booth that just kind of folds around you.
I mean, I always go to Costco and buy like the 24 or the 48 pack of eggs. I can just staple the shit.
I haven't even showed you. Look at what I have here at my desk. Let me see. Can you see that?
Motherfucker. You have cartons of eggs in there.
Yeah. I buy those like you say, like the big ass boxes of eggs because I have a huge family. Yeah. And then I just take the egg crates and I put them up on the wall.
Oh my God.
Hey, it works out pretty good though, doesn't it?
No, it does. I mean, all the background noise, it's from my end, and I know that, and actually, I don't know how many.
I cut out most of it.
Okay, thanks, but I do apologize for that.
Goddamn ceiling fan.
But you've known from the beginning that I have the shitty setup.
Yep. But I'm becoming a good editor. Trial and error, bitch.
So I mean, how many fucking days do I have to apologize? Like every episode, I have to apologize for my shitty sound.
No, now I think we're at the point where you can just say, "Fuck you. This is my setup."
I know, right? But I get it. It gets annoying.
But do we care?
I kind of do.
What happened to you, Zumi?
I'm selling out.
You used to be the guy that didn't give a shit.
Bro, I'm selling out.
Now I'm the one who doesn't give a shit.
I want them to, say like, "Oh, that poor guy." Have you ever seen
$5,000?
Oh no, I haven't shown you this. There's this guy. He has it's a Spanish channel, but
of course
he's a stand-up comedian, and he has a character named Galatzia. So he wears a fucking pink wig, and he's always saying like, "What's up, my hardcores? My name is Galaxia. I'm like your fucking goddess." So, but he has like 8 things or 10 things that I hate about X, and one of them was the iPhone. So when the iPhone 6 came out, right, and it's really really funny. It's obviously in Spanish, so I'm gonna paraphrase, but one of the points was like, I hate that the iPhone has become a way to show your status, like whether you're middle class, upper class, or if like you're straight up poor. So as you show me your iPhone, right? So it's like
upper class, bitch.
So this I think this idea came out of a meme that says, it was a Mexican dude saying like, "Yay, the iPhone 6 finally came out, which means I can finally afford the iPhone 4. So
for real, right?
So anyways, he's saying like, I hated that the iPhone has become like a way to show your status. Like, you come in and then you pull out it's like, "Oh, what iPhone model do you have?" Like, "Oh, it's the iPhone 4. It's like, "Oh, you poor thing. Have you eaten yet? Here's some money." Like,
that's not so far from the truth.
You're up in the club, you're dancing, you pull out your iPhone, and he's like, you're like dancing with a hot chick, and she's like, hey, what kind of iPhone? It's like, what? Like, what kind of iPhone is that? The 4. Like, oh, yeah, I don't want anything else to do with you. Like, go away.
Honey, you don't want to get in his car. He pull.
Yeah. So anytime I see like somebody with an iPhone, it's It's like, what iPhone is that?
And like a jackass.
Yeah, it's like, oh, pobrecito, pobrecita. Have you eaten yet? Let me take you out to dinner.
It's such an asshole move.
I know, but it's funny though, right?
Yeah, it's funny.
And yeah, so I want you to look at what happened to my Microsoft phone. See that?
Oh, dude. Got a big ass crack in the corner.
That's the baby. And he keeps finding a way to like dropping it face down.
Of course.
And those holes are just getting bigger. I'm surprised like the screen, like the touch screen thingy still works.
Well, just touch it lightly.
So, yeah. So I'm thinking of upgrading.
Out of necessity.
So I was
Dude,
I was
you need
looking
to get one of these cases, man.
I was looking at the okay, I'm gonna admit I'm gonna like my cheap ass was looking at 150 and below phones.
Oh, so like the old Nokias.
No, well, I'm definitely not going for a Microsoft or a Windows phone anymore.
You gonna go Apple?
No, the Asus ASUS makes phones. So there's
yeah,
and I was like, I told my brother like, how does this one look? And he's like, well, in theory, on paper, it looks really good, but I don't know. It's like, I don't know, man. They make good computers, but I don't know, man.
It's like buying a fucking Kia.
So
like it looks nice.
Yeah. So I think this is my upgrade. As soon as the iPhone 8 is available,
get the iPhone 6S.
I'm gonna buy it so I can give it to my wife, and then I'm just gonna inherit her iPhone 6S Plus.
Oh, she has that big ass phone?
Yeah. It's gonna be pink, but I can just buy a black hardcover, right, for it, like a protector.
You don't like pink?
It's the gold pink, so it kind of looks girly.
It's rose gold.
Yeah, it looks really, really girly.
Yeah, Christelle has the rose gold one.
I don't think anybody can take me seriously when I pull that fucking big ass phone and it's all pinkish and it's only a 16 gig though, the one that she has, and I guess memory is an issue. She's like, you should have gotten me the 64, and I'm like, that would have been $200 more.
I have the 128.
You bastard. You fucking Americans, you fucking white people and your privileges and.
Hey, I'm only part white.
So, okay, so this will be my last rant.
I'm ready.
I'm sorry. Like, I know I said I didn't have one, but
it's
I kind of
okay.
do.
My son's probably hung himself by now, so it's cool.
It's not a rant per se, but I went to dinner, or my cousin invited us to dinner last Monday. We went to Phil's Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been?
Never.
Fucking amazing.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, but anyways, so him and his sister, my other cousin, decided they were going to do a DNA testing.
Oh no!
Where it shows like your percentages of how much what race is among like right. So he was fucking pissed because my cousin Corinne, she came out at 51% Japanese, and he only came at 47% Japanese. So he was fucking pissed about that one. And kind of to find out, there's like a little there's like Korean, and because they're their mom was white, there's like I think Western European, Eastern European.
Oh, so like German and
stuff. So a lot of like German, and I didn't really see like I was more interested in like the Asian gene, right?
Yeah.
And then there was like less than 0.1% or whatever was like African or Africa sections.
Oh.
So
you got a little black in them.
Yeah. So I was like now I'm curious. Like now I'm thinking of doing a DNA test with my brothers to see if we can beat 47%.
So just to be an asshole.
Yeah, so we can go like, hey, look, more than 47% Japanese, no Korean in there. But the section that I'm most curious about is my Spanish one.
Like Spanish, not like Hispanic.
Right. Like how much Spaniard is there really in our family?
Watch it be like 5%.
But here's the thing,
what the
like
fuck?
But here's the thing, like they were explaining how like the movement or how like our ancestors migrated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I might actually like Mexico section might actually have some Native American in them. So I'm like, so we're shooting for an eighth of Native American so I can claim my claim my territory and open my own casino, right?
You know that only works with certain tribes. Like
I don't.
In a lot of tribes, you have to be like half.
Well, I'm looking for that one tribe that's related with, you know,
Shoshone.
the Mayans and Aztecs and all those guys, and then I can be like, oh, golden ticket.
Oh, Zoomy.
Dude, you should do a DNA test. And how fucked up would it be if I actually come out more Native American than you?
This is exactly why I won't take one.
Dude, you should.
I'm afraid.
Well, I'm afraid too. Like, can you imagine? Like, I was telling him, like, well, we're half Japanese, half Mexican. If we do a DNA test, it's probably going to be like 102% Filipino with a 2% margin of error.
Watch me like do this DNA test, and you find out that I'm 60% African American. What then?
I don't know what. I guess you can go to the Black Lives Matter.
Explain this.
But that was that isn't that funny though? Like I'm gonna do it.
47%.
Yeah, 47%. He was pissed. He was like, I can't believe I demand a recount. So yeah,
so do a runoff vote.
My cousin was just rubbing that 51%. She's like, I'm more Japanese than you are.
She's gonna use it forever.
Yeah. Anyways.
I think I'm gonna go check on my son. I think I'm gonna eat some food, and I think I'm gonna sleep in a bed by myself and be lonely.
And you're not gonna watch the Discovery, huh?
I'm probably gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna put it. I have the TV in our bedroom, so.
Oh, okay.
But
It's a short film.
Eat in the bed,
like a pig.
Yeah. No smoking in bed though. That's bad.
Are you gonna roll in like in your Cheetos like when you're done?
Yeah, just to be a dick. And I'm gonna act all surprised when she comes home in the morning and be like, "Oh, what? Oh, I was gonna clean up. I promise."
So I got some edibles.
What?
I said I got some edibles.
Some edibles.
Yeah.
Oh. Are you going to take them all at once?
No. Like, they gave me gummies.
You only take one?
So I got gummies. No, I was actually told take half. Because I guess they're really, really strong. They're like
half a gummy?
Half a gummy. When I heard half, I was like, oh, half a bag? And they were like, no.
No.
They're like, half a gummy. I'm like, oh shit. It's like, yeah. It's like you take.
Maybe you should just eat the foot of the bear.
Yeah, you take one, and you're gonna be gone for like a day.
Like, oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah. So.
Well, you got to let me know, or you could do it right before we start recording.
No.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I'll be laughing about nothing.
That might be great.
No, I still have. I don't know. Like, part of me wants to. The other part is saying like, eh.
I'm still waiting for when my dad like full on retires, and like I'm gonna send him some stuff. I'm just gonna go over to one of the cannabis shops here and then like mail him some good stuff. Since it's legal there now too.
Yeah, we should probably edit that out. Actually,
why?
Because I don't want to go on record that I have edibles. What do you think?
I think you're safe.
You think I'm safe?
Yeah.
All right, if this shit comes bite me in the ass, Lonnie, you're bailing me out.
Okay, we're going to pretend, like, just in case later on you want to edit it out, we're going to do, like, a little, like, segue.
Okay.
So we'll do the...
I don't think it's going to work.
I'm going to be a douchebag and I'm going to leave it in.
Oh, man. Yeah, just leave it in. Fuck it.
Okay. All right, Zumi. Well, if you want to call it 2 weeks from now, we will record episode 33, and I will be...
And you will be 33,
old.
and this is episode 32, and I just turned 32, so this is great.
It's good karma.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Attracting abundance, no more misery.
Yeah, stop doing that shit.
Oh, and by the way, I haven't been shed on since then.
Well, there you go. It's a sign, Zumi. All right, bud. Well, people, we will see you in 2 weeks. Be sure to listen.
Peace, yo.